Hello, welcome to the lesson. So today I'm going to show you how to play Wonderwall by Oasis. So let me begin by demonstrating it to you. It's going to sound like this. Okay, and you'll recognise that that is the intro section of the song, and it also serves as the verse because he sings over it as well. And as well as that, I'm going to show you the bridge and also the chorus. So I'm going to show you the whole song in this lesson. Now you'll notice that I'm using a capo. That's this little device that goes over the strings and holds them down at fret 2, because that's what Noel Gallagher does, okay? And what that does, it moves all the pitch of the notes up a couple of frets to make it slightly higher. But in this lesson, I'm going to take it off, and I'm just going to show you how to play this song using exactly the same chords, but just using the open strings as we would normally. And what that means is, if you get a chance to buy a capo, all you've got to do is clip it onto fret 2 like I was doing then, and just move these shapes that I'm going to show you up a couple of frets. So as far as your fingers are concerned, it makes no difference at all. It's just a case of moving up a bit or moving back down a little bit. Okay, so let's begin. Let me show you these first 4 chords, which are the main intro of the song. If you take your first finger and put it onto the 5th string at fret 2, take your middle finger and put it onto the 4th string at fret 2, then take your 3rd finger and put it on the 2nd string at fret 3, and your little finger onto the 1st string at fret 3. Okay, so look at the chord box next to me if you just want to check that. And what I'm going to ask you to do is strum all those strings and make sure that they're sounding nice and clear. Okay, now what you want to make sure is that the 3rd string sounds okay. Make sure that the back of your middle finger is not accidentally touching it, so that when you strum the strings, all those notes sound nice and clear. Excellent. So that's the first chord. That's an E minor with a sharpened 9. Okay, now the next chord, I want you to leave those fingers on, but take your middle finger off and put your middle finger across onto the 6th string at fret 3. And what that does is it makes a G chord. You probably recognise it. So just check those notes. Excellent. Okay, so the next chord goes like this. You're going to take those fingers off, but leave the little finger and the 3rd finger where they are on the 1st and 2nd string. Put your 1st finger on the 3rd string at fret 2. And what you're going to do is just strum the 4 strings downwards. So what that means is you're not going to pluck the 6th and the 5th string. You're just going to strum 4 strings. And that's called a D sus4. And then take your 1st finger off and put it onto the 4th string at fret 2 and strum 5 strings downwards. And that's an A7 sus4, okay? So don't worry if you haven't memorised them immediately. I'm going to demonstrate them again in slow motion. So what we've got there is E with a sharpened 9, G, D sus4, A7 sus4. Okay, so now you've seen those chords, what I want to show you now is the strumming pattern. Let's go to the first chord, and I'm going to ask you to strum like this. Dong, dong, jang. Just try that for yourself. Okay. Now we're going to go to the G and try it like this. Down, up, down, up, down, down. Okay, so when we join those together, it should sound like this. Okay, and the next one should sound like this. And you'll notice that I'm putting my thumb over the top just to gently touch the 6th and 5th string, and that mutes them and stops them from accidentally making a noise when I don't want them to. Some people will find that easier than others. Everybody's hands are different, so don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. And then finally the last chord. Down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. So let me demonstrate that in slow motion so you can see exactly what I'm doing. Okay, alright. Now I don't expect you to be able to play that perfectly straight away. You may want to stop the video and just practice that. Take your time. You might have to practice it quite a lot to get it flowing nice and smoothly. But if you just work with the chords to begin with, eventually the strumming pattern, you know, will seem natural. Okay? So the intro, what you want to do is play those chords around 4 times. And then the verse begins when he starts singing, and you keep playing them round 3 more times. And once you've played them 3 times, we're going to do this chord, which is a C9. And what it is, the little finger and the third finger are in exactly the same place as they were. The middle finger goes on the 5th string at fret 3, and the first finger goes on the 4th string at fret 2. And you're going to play like that, just the 5 strings. So my thumb is muting the 6th string. And then you're going to go to the D sus4, which is the same chord as we used just now. And then you're going to go to the A sus4. Okay, so let me demonstrate those 3 new chords for you. Excellent. So I want to show you how the whole verse goes. So we're going to play those original chords around 3 times, and then we're going to stick those new chords on the end, and that's the verse. So it should sound like this. Excellent. Okay, so the next thing I want to show you is the bridge. And remember, when you downloaded this, there's also a PDF document in the folder, and if you click on that, it shows you the whole sequence of the song. So just for the minute while we're in this video lesson, just focus on learning and remembering the chords, and then when you look at that PDF document, you can print that out and you can see when to play what. So don't worry about that for now. So the next section I want to show you is the bridge, and it goes like this, using the C9 chord that we just learned a minute ago. And then play a D chord, just a normal D. And if you don't remember, it's the 3rd string at fret 2, the middle finger on the 1st string at fret 2, and then the 3rd finger on the 2nd string at fret 3. Just look at the chord box if you want to check that. Okay, and then we're going to go to E minor, which is just 2 fingers, the 5th string at fret 2 and the 4th string at fret 2. All the strings. Okay, so let me demonstrate that. And you need to do that again. And then play the C9 again. And the D again. But this time we're going to go like this. Okay, so this is how that works. You're going to play, well, let's just say you've just done the C9, you've just done the D, and we're now going to do a G chord, which you already know. And now we're going to do a chord called D over F sharp. And what that is, quite simply, is a D chord, but we're using the thumb to hold down the 6th string at fret 2, like this. And you actually strum all the strings. Now, the challenge with this chord is we don't actually want to hear the 5th string. So you're using the tip of the thumb to touch the 5th string. I know this sounds complicated, but you will get the hang of it. And we're touching the 5th string so that it doesn't make any noise, but we can hear the 6th string at fret 2. Like that, okay? Hope that makes sense. And you strum all the strings. And you've got D over F sharp. And then you finish with the E minor. So those 3 chords go like this: G, D over F sharp, and then E minor. And then we finish by doing the A7 sus4, which you'll recognise from the intro. It's the one that goes like this. Okay, now don't worry, once again, don't worry if you can't remember all those chords. I'm going to demonstrate it to you now in slow motion. So the bridge should sound like this. Okay, and then you can hear the chorus come in, and it's going to sound like this. C9, E minor with the sharpened line, which you'll recognise is the very first chord in the song. and then G, and then back to the E minor with the sharpened 9. So when we join them together, it should sound like this. And you can finish there on that E minor sharpened 9. And if you remember from the CD, that's when the drum beat comes in and they go into a whole nother verse and they repeat it all round again. So that's it. That's all the sections from the song. I hope it makes sense. You know, of course, you'll want to watch this video a few times really to get the hang of the strumming pattern. But really, the strumming pattern, I don't think it's necessary for me to explain every last down and up stroke. What I want you to do is learn the chords and just become comfortable with strumming it yourself. And then eventually you'll get into the rhythm of it and you should be able to just naturally strum up and down, you know, whatever is appropriate just by listening to the CD and just knowing that what's right to play. Okay, so good. I hope that's been useful. Thanks for joining me in this lesson. Go and print out the PDF document with all the chord boxes on it and you can see, you know, they're all written down so you can just look at them at a glance. I hope that's helpful. I'll see you soon in one of the other video guitar lessons, and make sure you email me to let me know how you're getting on with this lesson. I am a real person. I do like to hear from people. Okay, all right, I'll see you soon. Bye bye.